What you're about to hear is raw. These are honest conversations about healing, mental health, and the weight we carry. While we are mental health professionals, this is not a substitute for therapy. The views shared here belong to those speaking, shaped by their stories, not by their institutions. Listen with care. Take what you need.
They assumed that it was a black male. Fast forward the story, it actually was a white man who was an ex-cop
Oh man.
going
In a cop
around.
car.
Yeah, in a cop car. Yeah. Hey, what's up? Thank you guys for tuning in today to the podcast. I'm Terry Jenkins Jr. And we're here to talk to you about mental health. We're gonna get straight into it. Today's topic is Black Man Misunderstood. And I'm gonna let you get off to it, Justice.
It started off as a podcast. It's become a movement. It's become a therapy modality. The who's who of therapy. They're not trying to recognize it, but you got three brothers in here. We live it. You know what I mean? And people actually come and they ask for a Black Man Misunderstood as a therapy modality. So that's really what it is. It's really a movement, man. It's really a movement. It's up there with auto therapy. Auto therapy is when we drive the car around. That's trademark. I'm on the venture to trademark Black Man Misunderstood as well. So I mean, it's a movement and it's needed.
Oh yeah, definitely. And just as far as the movement goes, just speak on how we're perceived in the world as being a black man. You know, our perception, or the perception that the world gives us is, we're cold, we're emotionless, we hood, we thugged, we hard. You should fear us. When that's not the actuality, right? You know what I'm saying? Everybody's different. We had a conversation a lot. Not everybody hood, man. Mm-hmm. Not everybody do hood stuff, bro. Everybody don't go out and rob. Every black man don't sell drugs in the streets. Just because I'm black with dreads don't mean, you pull up on me wrong, I'm gonna pull out the switch and do this, that. Mm-hmm. No, man, I'm a regular human being. But that's how the world tells us we should be. And it's kind of created by, our environment, our culture, and what's in our media, right? You know what I'm saying? Every song on the radio telling you, if you're a black man, this is how you should be. You should be hood. You should be thug. You should be out there with a switch. You should be out here getting a lot of hoes. It's a part of your culture, right? You should smoke and drink every single day. That's what your culture telling you is black. That's what a black man is. And so it makes a misunderstanding because if I come at you like I am, mm-hmm. you look at me like a unicorn. Like it's something wrong with you, bro. Why you ain't thugging? You ain't never sold no weed before, bro? You ain't never sold no weed before? Or you ain't never done, what? You ain't got no gun?
So is the world view criminal?
Mm-hmm.
Is that like the way the world view black men as a criminal?
Pretty much. A menace to society.
There you go, okay.
Yeah. A menace to society, a criminal, the person that you should fear. If somebody gonna break into your home, it's gonna be somebody that's black. Mm-hmm. If somebody gonna run off and take your purse, it's gonna be somebody black. Lock your doors when you get out because you don't want nobody black coming to steal your car and break into the usual, and we see it all the time, man. You can't fake it. You see it all the time on Instagram on a certain post. The usual suspect. Yeah. The usual suspect. That's who you are. And it creates this misunderstanding. I'm trying to get too personal, but I remember being a kid, man, and I kid you not, I'm dead serious when I say this. At 9, I wanted to be a robber. That's what I wanted to be when I grew up. I wanted to rob people. That's what I wanted. Me now. At 9, that's what I wanted to be. But it's because in the movies I was watching the Hot Boys. You know what I'm saying? I watched the movie, man, and they
on UPN.
Yeah. And I'm watching them and I'm living up, seeing the lifestyle they live in, you know what I'm saying? And I look at my older cousins. I had 2 cousins in jail. You know what I'm saying? I look at my family, what my family doing. Everybody in my family, they slanging. Something like this is what I'm supposed to be. So at 9, the environment I'm in, every black man I know out hustling, getting it in, And then I look on TV, I see the same thing. Black men were hustling, getting in,
These
robbing,
These your
shooting.
favorite rappers too, playing
Oh,
in the
yeah.
movie. So this your favorite rapper playing whatever the society view of a black man. So of course, as a kid,
That's why I believe I'm there. Forget being a doctor. I'm gonna think about no doctor, no lawyer, no. Nah, bro, I'm gonna rob when I get old. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna rob.
When did you break out of that? How old were you?
Probably when I was 14.
Yeah.
When I was 14, that's kind of the shift in mindset. And again, I'm not here to, discredit my parents. My parents were holy, man. My parents, they had us in church. But those were my parents. That wasn't my uncles, my
the cool
cousins.
people.
It wasn't the cool people.
Yeah.
And so even though my parents was pushing me to go to church, man, I didn't want to go to church on Sunday. I didn't want to praise the Lord, man. No, ain't nobody listening to that. I'm out hanging with my homeboys. We're going around, just being transparent, scoping out the neighborhood, knocking on doors, running. Hey, here's a certain time at Walmart. We're going to go on Walmart. We're going to grab the CDs. We're going to grab it, put it in the backpack, and run out. Stuff I ain't have to do. We weren't rich, but my parents had enough. But again, my image, who I was taught, this is what you're supposed to be doing. The people I was hanging with, my friends, this is what we're supposed to be doing. It wasn't until I was 14 and having a friend that I was running with get stabbed and killed when I realized, man, maybe this ain't what I should be doing. Misunderstood. Maybe this ain't the life I should be living. This is what everybody is telling me to do. But if I'm going to end up dead at 14, like my friend, 16, like my cousin's in jail, locked up for life, like one of my homeboys at 17, I don't know, do I have to live this life?
See, and that's important, bro, right? Because you started out a certain way, you saw it and was like, nah, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
And you ran away, you fled,
Yeah.
right? What about the people on the other side? Can I keep it real with you about the people on the other side? Because that's me.
Yeah.
I was the nerd. Before Dragon Ball Z, I was in the anime.
Yeah.
Right? But everybody was like, oh, you're a nerd. That shit corny. You know what I mean? Because I'm in the hood, right? So I'm like, stay in the background, right? Beyblades. I don't know if y'all know about Beyblades.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I created a whole team, and we used to go to Beyblade tournaments.
Oh,
you know what I mean? This is the hood.
Beyblades just came out.
Beyblades came out, and when Beyblades came out, I was in like 6th grade.
Yeah.
I didn't even hear about it back then. I didn't even know that existed until Reese, like my homeboy's son, played with him. It's big now.
Oh yeah, now yeah. But hear me out, right? Kid from the hood, right? This is who I am at the core of things, right? So a lot of times you couldn't hide that stuff. Sometimes it'd come out. So you catch some of the dudes in the hood like, man, you're a white boy, right? And I actually my vernacular was a little different. I actually was more studious with my wordplay.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll catch it. I in real time I'll say something like that. But most of the time this is my normal. So when people talk to me, they're like, "You sure he went to school?"
Yeah.
I get a lot of that because I don't know how to change it anymore. I'm naturally stuck in my ebonics, as I call it, right?
Yeah.
But growing up, I was a very studious. I was all of that, right? And then something happened to me. I started watching the people around me. I watched all the dudes get all the girls for being assholes, right? So something in me was like, wow, man, okay, all right, cool, right? I'm trying to get some girls too, right?
Yeah.
What's caused me to snap was dudes used to like walk up on me, and again, I'm a nerd. I used to wear glasses too. They'll jump me, fight me, stuff like that. My glasses started getting crooked.
Yeah.
I come home, my mom be like, why you always breaking that part too? Your mom, you getting your ass whooped at school, and then you coming home getting your ass whooped, right?
Yeah.
So it's only a matter of time a little nerd goes, okay, I'm either going to continue to get punked at school, or I'm about to become a villain. That's what I became.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yours is at 9, mine's is at 10.
Yeah.
But the switch was a little different. I'm you know what I mean? I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm about to become a villain. Bro, my villain arc lasted from 10 to like 22, bro.
Yeah.
We talking about graduating college. I'm choking people at college, beating people up. Bro, you here for studious activity.
Yeah.
But you can still catch these hands, bro. That's what I'm saying. What about them people? What do you do with those people? I had a mask on, bro, right?
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until I turned 23, 24, got a whole college degree, got a woman, I'm calling her a wife, right? I'm a boy leading a woman. Like, you know what I'm saying? I had to look in that mirror and be like, no, you're misunderstood. What you got to do is take this mask off, right? And you got to be authentically you. What does that look like? But now I'm confused because I used to be this white boy, right? That liked anime, that liked, Hooked on Phonics. Remember Hooked on Phonics?
Yeah.
I love that. And I still have that in my head.
Yeah.
Star Battle sometimes. Why?
Yeah.
Bro, what? I'm goofy. I'm Batman out. You come to my house, everything Batman. I know y'all saw my car. The car actually got a Batman emblem on it. I'm really him, bro. I'm a nerd, right? But I ain't got no problem putting my hands on like, what's up? What we doing? But that's all of that is an encompass of my life. And I'm a walking conundrum. Honestly.
Yeah.
Terry, you are a walking conundrum because I can't fathom you 9 years old, you want to grow up and be a rapper. I'm like, you talking about Terry Jenkins Jr.
Yeah.
The brother I know, that don't make no sense. Jonathan, you told me a story, and I'll be looking at you like, bro, you had rims when? Tell that story, bro. Tell us about the fucking all blacked out car in high school. Like that's a foreign concept to somebody like me, bro.
As I was talking, it made me think. We talk about black man misunderstood, and it seems like the last episode we kind of talked about authenticity, being authentically you. And I think being authentic is like that's where you get misunderstood because the society got whatever view of you. So then you go into the name of the podcast is Shift the Hill. We shift into some shit that really ain't us. We shift into that trying to fit in or trying to like be what our school or whatever our neighborhood says we need to be. And then back to the podcast, like at some point we got to make another shift out of what you two brothers have done, right? To make a shift out of that to say, wait, this shit ain't wrong. And then you go back to the original you.
Right.
Yeah.
You're back to the original nerd with Batman. He's back to the little kid that's wanting to probably help people and save his community. And like, that's what he's doing now. So, I mean, for me, I did have some cool cars back when I was young. That's the culture, man. We from Texas and, everybody's riding around and swingers and all of that stuff. So growing up, you see that, and you just like, man, I'm gonna get a car like that. So like, I did all that, but again, even in that, right? Because that's kind of seen that. I used to get pulled over a lot. I used to drive down Northborough or Gears Road, wherever you at, and you get pulled over for no reason. I don't get pulled over no more. But I also I ain't got 22s no more. I ain't got stickers on my windows. My windows ain't tinted 5% in the front anymore. Like I'm not, so that doesn't happen. So I think for me, I was in that space too, but I had to make a shift as like getting older. I got a family now. I had to decide, do I want to keep riding around black on black, the 22s riding around? I got my daughters in the car. Like, nah. So we all shift several times through our life. I keep coming back to that with the shift is. We all shift several times, but it's like we ain't got no problem making that shift and wanting to be hot boys. We ain't got no problem making that shift and wanting to beat up everybody because we getting picked on. But once we that person and we bringing all this negativity in the world, like when we gonna shift back?
It's tough because that's something that our culture glorifies. And so it's easy to make that shift to being the hot boy, being that YN, being that, that thug or hood nigga, because that's what our culture says is you.
Well, hold on.
That's who you are.
So does the world, like, is it our culture? Because if it's our culture, we can change it.
Yeah.
Is it the world saying we like this, or we as black people saying, nah, you gotta be a nigga?
To me, it's both. It's both.
Yeah.
It's our world saying it, and then there's people within our culture telling us it is too. For example, you talked about the car situation. Man, my first car was a Crown Vic. Had some 20s on it, blacked out tint. I'm talking about I'm driving, man. I worked at McDonald's since I was 16. All the way up to the time I graduated. I bought me a car going into college, my own money that I worked hard for. And I remember when I was at Arkansas State University in Jonesboro, second week of school, I'm driving back to campus. It's probably about 10:30 at night. Mind you, I'm Quick backstory. I'm a church boy. I transitioned to college, but I'm just trying to be a ghost in college. I don't want nobody to know me for who I am. I'm just literally class, school, library, dorm. Don't talk to nobody. I get pulled over by one cop. Out of nowhere, about 5, 6 more cop vehicles show up. I'm nervous, man. I ain't never been in a situation like this in my life. Never. So, sorry. So the cop get on the loudspeaker and tell me, step out the car, put your hands up, and lay face on the ground. I didn't move. Because I'm nervous, bro. Like, I'm like, what's going on? I'm my second week up here in Jonesboro, Arkansas. I'm 4 hours away from home. Never been outside of Pine Bluff. Definitely never been outside of East Arkansas, ever. I get out the car, put my hands up. They yelling at me, get on the ground. They already got their guns out at me. I get on the ground, face down. He come behind me, put his knee in my back, put the cuffs on me, take out my ID while I'm laying on the ground. He go back, and I can hear them talking to each other. I'm like, bro, I think we got the wrong guy. Because mind you, yeah, I'm riding in the Crown Vic, but I always told you I'm from country Arkansas, so I got on Hollister button-down prep shirt. I got on the little shorts that come above my knee, the little plaid shorts to, match, and then my Sperry's. I got on the Sperry's. Yeah. So they're like, I think this is the wrong dude. Think he the wrong guy. Cop come back, pick me up off the ground, take off my cuffs. Sorry, we got the wrong guy. Give my wallet, and they all pull off. That's how the world view us. It was a guy at the time riding around in a Crown Vic, kidnapping girls on campus and raping them. They assumed that it was a black male. Fast forward the story, it actually was a white man who was an ex-cop.
Oh, man.
Going
in a cop
around.
car.
Yeah, in a cop car.
car.
Yeah. But the world view us as what? As criminals. As thieves. Killers. Rapists. That's how they view us. Villains. And so because the world view us that way, and then they funnel it down through our media, the music videos, the rappers, the people that we glorify in our community, our culture tells you to be that way. So if I'm being a nerd, I'm getting my A's in school, I ain't sagging, I'm dressed in my little prep shorts, or I'm suited and booted, but the girls looking at me like I'm weird.
Right.
Nobody want you, man. What's wrong with you?
Right.
Why you talk like that? Why you what? You supposed to be hood, so I ain't getting no girls now. Cause instead of me going up to them, hey, what's up, mama? Hello, how you doing? They don't like that.
Which is nuts to say that out loud, bro.
Crazy.
Y'all both just mentioned that. And
Yeah.
You know the other person I heard say that? Tupac.
Yeah.
Say the same exact thing. He was trying to be nice and all that, but then it's like, yeah, look out, bitch, and now they coming his way.
Yeah. It's the culture. They give us an image of how they believe the world does. We should be. Our culture backs it up by telling us this is how you be. And so you start to emulate it.
There you go.
You start to put on that image. And you become misunderstood in your environment. You know this is not you. I have on that mask. I know this is not who I am.
Right.
But this is what everybody's telling me I should be and how I should be. So this is how I'm going to be.
How we take that mask off? That's what's come next.
That's the question for you. You asked it. I want you to answer it. Because you know the answer. So I want to hear you.
You gotta deal with that man in the mirror. I'm looking directly at this. This is my camera, right? Yeah, you gotta look in that mirror. It's hard. So I'm gonna give y'all a therapy technique. Again, this is not to replace therapy. But before I give y'all the technique, shameless plug. Trapped in My Mind. Terry Jenkins, good brother Terry Jenkins. This book, right? I finished it last night. I binged through it. I'm just one of the people, right? I'm not gonna give away too much of it. The character in the book he's going through these mental health concerns from his past, right? And to make things short without giving it away, the only way he's able to deal with it is by looking in that mirror, right? And he don't like what he see. That's my solution to y'all. And so this is the therapy technique I teach people to do, to answer your question, our question. You gotta look in the mirror, right? And don't look at this. You know, you do this all day, right? I need you to look into directly the eyes of what you see, and this is gonna freak people out. I need you to do it while you're ass naked, butt naked. Do it butt naked. Look in the reflection. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. What's gonna end up happening is your brain is going to attempt to defend you. It's gonna try to block out things that you don't want to think about. You gotta sit with those thoughts. Think about the trauma from your past. Think about the people you wrong. Think about the people you've done right. Think about the people that have done you wrong, right? And then you got to start to just heal in that moment. And then if you feel like you're strong enough, right? Because going to therapy ain't weak, it's strong. If you feel like you're strong enough, reach out to a therapist, write it all out, lay it out for a therapist to help you pick out and weed out what is no longer you, and then what is still you, right? Like for me, right? Shadow work. There's pieces of me that's extremely negative. I'm an extremely violent person, right? Because I used to box, I used to play football. I was a headhunter in football, right? So I was like, oh, I got to get rid of that stuff. I went to therapy. My therapist was like, hold on. 1970s, we had people that was extremely militant. We needed them, right? Then we get to a place where it was just people that was super like kumbaya, boom, 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 right? What happened to the militant people? He was like, sometimes you need that aggression from when aggression calls for aggression. You need your military people to rise when it's time. So it's like, he was like, yo, keep that, but you need to redefine it, put it in a different scope. And so me thinking I gotta kill my anger, he was like, nah, you just gotta hone it down and scope that thing and make it come out when it come out. So what y'all know about, well, we can give a real life situation. Terry was going through something at school. And you got to see a glimpse of me spark off, because we didn't even know each other that long in your school. Your organization was trying to play with you. I don't want to put nobody out there, right?
Yeah.
Your organization was trying to play with you, and I was like, bro, what you want to do? You want me to send an email, or you want me to pull up? And you was like, bro, wait, right? Yeah. But in that moment, you was just like, damn, this don't feel familiar. This is different. This black brother got my back. I don't see too much of it. You know what I mean? And you told me that.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
That's the answer, though. Like, you gotta look in that mirror. You gotta see the change. You gotta write down what's wrong, write down what's right, and start weeding out. That's what they're becoming. That's what it shift. That was my shift. Looking in that mirror and going, yo, I'm not right. I'm not a good husband, not a good son. You know what I mean? I'm not a good brother, not a good uncle. I just had to switch all that up, bro. Took that mask off. That was hard. Because you paint that thing for years, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the misunderstanding.
To perfection.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you working out
Cold
everything
switching.
you want. Yeah.
Bro, and I'll tell, anybody will tell you, bro, a lot of people where I was at, the school I was at, they don't know that side of me. They don't know grabbing guns, and guns is illegal in New Jersey. So we way past laws of limitation. But I'm really like that, you know what I mean? So I come from that. So owning a gun legally is crazy, crazy.
Yeah.
I can literally walk around like this and not get pulled over.
Yeah.
I mean, cops are gonna
It's
pull me
Texas,
over,
man.
right?
Yeah.
But it's Texas, right?
Texas, you can do what you want.
I do that back home. I gotta tuck it. I gotta make sure it don't print. So
Yeah.
I can print in Texas. It's different. So I get to still have pieces of me from where I'm at, but I take that mask off. Now this is authentically me. But if you don't look in that mirror straight into your eyes, and I think you gotta do it naked, because you gotta look at all your imperfections and all your glory, right?
Yeah.
And say, yeah, nah, this is me. This is who I'm gonna be. I'm no longer gonna be a black man misunderstood. I'm gonna understand who I am, and that's what's important.
Yeah.
Everybody else, watch out.
Yeah. And then when you're able to do that, you're able to fall in love with yourself.
Facts.
When you fall in love with yourself, you can begin that shift to properly heal. A lot of times we put it on that mask and we put up all this makeup because we're trying to cover up our flaws and the things that people tell us are our flaws, right? You shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't act like that. You shouldn't talk like that. This is how you're supposed to be. When we put up all this cover and we use this mask, And then we're so far gone into who other people tell us that we should be that we don't love the person we see. That's because the person we see ain't us. So after you do what Justice say, look at the mirror, look at your imperfections, start weeding out stuff, being honest with yourself, being transparent with yourself in that moment, you're also learning how to love yourself in spite of excuse me, those things as well. And so you hit right on the head.
Look, y'all, as we kind of, we bring it down, bring it to a close. I feel like y'all are giving some good tips, but I want to see what we can leave people with, because we talk about how the world kind of created this for us, right? And we'll just say the world, but we know what we're really saying, right? Then that kind of made us view ourselves a certain way, and now within our community, we're like embracing it and really giving into it. What is something or like a tip we can give to the people listening, of how they can try to start being that change, right? Outside of what you just said, Justice, what can they do to start seeing a difference here?
Being honest with yourself, man. That's first. Stop lying to yourself. You gotta stop lying to yourself. It's hard for you, even going to therapy. Before you go to therapy, it's hard to hear the truth when you're consistently lying to yourself, because you're gonna close yourself off to the truth. So you gotta be honest with yourself. When you look yourself in that mirror, don't go in there be like, nah, I ain't got no addiction. Nah. Yeah, I just cheated a few times. I'm a good husband. No. Be honest with yourself. Start there. Be honest.
That can start before you get to the mirror too. You can start that. You drive home, and you ride in the car. You can start being honest. I feel like that's good.
I agree.
Yeah, but without that honesty, you're just gonna be stuck in the same cycle. You're gonna always have that mask on, because that mask is a lie. So if I can't be comfortable with being honest with myself, guess what? I'm gonna be comfortable with a lie. Being comfortable being misunderstood.
All right. I guess I could say you got the mirror, of course, but you need a foundation. In order for you to figure out who you are, where you're going, you need a foundation. Whether your foundation is your family, whether your foundation is your wife or your spouse, however it go down. For me, I worship Yahweh. I worship God. So my foundation is always going to be God. That's why I always come back to. But I wasn't always like that. I was living in sin, heavy, hard. You know what I mean? And I'm still fighting that. You feel me? But you gotta have a foundation to go back to, regardless of what it is. If it's material, let it be material. If it's gonna be spiritual, let it be spiritual. But if you don't know where you're going, right, it's because you don't know where you came from. And you can't look in the mirror. You can't even be honest with yourself if you don't know what you're looking for. You know what I mean? What is honesty? What is truth? You know what I mean? If you've been taught to rob your whole life, right? And then somebody presents something to you and be like, no, come to church. What's the truth? What's false in that? You feel me? So you got to figure out what your foundation is, build off of that. Then we start telling ourselves the honest truth. Then we start looking in that mirror, and you know what I mean? And so to me, that would be my answer. Foundational. Figure out what your foundation is or was and get back to it.
So just to wrap things up, man, being a black man comes with a lot of misunderstanding because we are perceived and the world tells us how to perceive ourselves. Perception becomes reality. We have to change the way we perceive ourselves. We got to go from being misunderstood to relearning ourselves, having that foundation, being honest, looking ourselves in the mirror to try to really gain understanding of who we are and not let the world continue to tell us who we should be.
That's it. Was all the dreamers in the background, right? Shout out to you guys.